What's poppin' everybody, Cerebral24. Today we're going to be looking at the Malamar Necrozma GX deck, but for the expanded format. I haven't shown an expanded version for this deck. I believe this is going to be the first time. And this deck is still pretty good. If it's good on standard, of course it's going to be very good in expanded too. The idea is pretty standard. We've seen this a million times. You basically use Malamar here, which is the energy accelerator dude. You grab psychic energies from the discard pile and you attach them to good psychic Pokemon that can use pretty good attacks for various situations. The main attacker, of course, is going to be Necrozma GX here. If you have Ultra Necrozma GX, you can use that guy too. There's benefits and downsides to both of these Pokemon. I've never owned, I still don't own Ultra Necrozma GX, so I didn't have the chance to try him and test with that guy. But this guy's pretty good, Necrozma GX. It's the more consistent option. You only need psychic energies with this guy. You don't need to run metal energies. But Ultra Necrozma GX, I think I might like that guy even more. I think the only thing this guy has over him is the GX attack. Uh, this guy's GX attack can be pretty handy. The ability can be pretty useful too, but the attack it's a lot more flexible and stronger, which is something that's very good. But this Pokemon, of course, is still a great attacker. It's going to be our main Pokemon. And two of this guy and a 3-line for Malamar, 3 line for Malamar. You can try 4 if you like, but 3 it's always the right number for me. 2 is too little, 4 might be too much. Sometimes the fourth sort of extras do come in handy, but 3 is just the right number for me. I'll always run 3. So, like I was saying, the idea is pretty standard. The good old Ray Ills, Bronzong, this sort of strategy. You guys should be familiar with it by now. So for other attackers, we're going to have our Hoopa here, akin to the Ray Ills deck with Raikou. This is a sniper. He's pretty good. The stats are basically the same with Raikou too. You got 170 HP, 2 retreat cost. Okay, Raikou has a better retreat cost. The psychic weakness too. Scoundrel Ring we don't use. We just use Hyperspace Fury. Discard 2 psychic energies or 2 any energies on this Pokemon, but you need psychic to work. And you do an 100 damage snipe. This is pretty good to kill Garbodor forever. And there's other situations where we can take good advantage of this. Like that, if you set up quickly and your opponent is sort of struggling to set up, let's say stage 2 Pokemon and things of this nature, then you can just snipe him down and make it hard for him. He would need to play a couple down to finally evolve. All sorts of interactions. Sniping is always good, and this Pokemon is nice doing that. Next up, we gotta have our Dawnwings Necrozma GX here. So this is like the Keldeo of Arrayo's deck. The only difference is we can attack with him too, and its stats are better, 180 HP, handy fighting resistance too. This guy's weak to darkness as opposed to psychic, so it's a good sort of variety. Both darkness and psychic Pokemon are always popular, so being weak to them kind of sucks. There's a lot of great Pokemon that can take advantage of our weaknesses, but it's good to at least have a variation. This guy, of course, is a sitting duck against Zoroark, and Darkrai decks and Expanded are always kind of popular too. But Invasion is pretty handy. Dark Flash is a solid attack, and the GX attack might come in handy too, doing 180 and then trying to be invincible for a turn. Good Pokemon. And then I gotta have my tech attackers. In this case, we have our Giratina Prism here. Since this is a Prism Pokemon, it's pretty big, might as well take advantage of our Psychic Prism Pokemon. I like this guy better than Lunala. Lunala Prism because with Chaotic Star, I can instantly put Psychic Energies on him if I want to. And Crisis Dive is just a respectable solid attack. You always do 160 for 4, you discard 2 energy. Makes sense in a deck like this where you discard energies, get them back. It just makes sense Pokemon in this sort of deck. With 160 damage, we can take care of the regular stage 2 Pokemon easily. A lot of the safeguard Pokemon too, we can take care of them. It's just a nice Pokemon. Handy fighting resistance, weak to darkness too. Gives us that variation. And Lunala Prism, you really need to grab a lot of energies to make that guy sort of work. That's what I think. But if you want to use him, I guess it's fine. I like this guy better. And then we gotta have Hoopa too. Hoopa is pretty good. This guy is great because it's one of the Pokemon that can actually attack early. Hyperspace Punch doing 20 to 2 Pokemon. It's just nice. It's like a mini Landora CX, Buzzwole GX attack. Very good. Portal Strike. Portal Strike, yeah. A nice solid 130 attack for 3 energy. It's just a nice basic Pokemon. In many ways, even though he's not a Prism, he's superior to Giratina. Attacking early, just doing a solid attack, not discarding energy. It's also a good sort of tech Pokemon that we can use as opposed to our GX guys. Not bad. And then for my support Pokemon, I gotta have the one Tapu Lele GX. You shouldn't run any more than one of a Pokemon like this in this sort of deck because your bench space is quite valuable. And even one of these guys, when you do eventually play him down, the spot he takes up on the bench can't be annoying. Now, in this sort of deck, though, we can actually use Tapu Cure GX, which is a good thing. And, when everything else fails, even though he takes up a spot there, you can still attack with him. There's situations where building him up with Malamars, putting a lot of energies on this dude and attacking with him is good. I mean, you got to remember, Energy Drive is the X-Ball attack from Mewtwo EX. That's always going to be sort of good. And then the last Pokemon is my Mime. I gotta run my Mime. I like having bench protection, making sure the little NKs are safe, and just having a Pokemon like this basically almost gives you an auto win against these sort of spread decks. They gotta like pull and try and kill them, and when you do get them down, it always makes it hard for them. Things like Tapu Koko, Weavile especially Weavile is an auto win against this sort of deck. You gotta run Mr. Mime and other spread tactics. He puts a stop to them. It's just a very powerful ability. Nice tech to have. Nice, nice. Now, the Trainer Skeleton is basically just, you guys should see a lot of similarities if you see my Ray Eels decks and the Bronzong decks that I made with Duskmane Necrozma and other Pokemon. I favor a lot of the same skeletons because if it works for me. This is like the psychic version of those decks. So as I was saying, you gotta have your computer search. It's the ace pick of choice. Not only is it a discard outlet to discard psychic energies, it's just a joker card. Get whatever you want, whatever you need. Consistency is everything in this sort of deck, and this card is great, of course. For our searching Pokemon, searching balls, searching item cards, you gotta have the one nest ball and only 2 level ball. I didn't put like the third level ball. Normally it would be 1 net ball and 1 level ball, so that we have the flexibility of having an option to get I was gonna say eels, the Malamars in this case, but having a nest ball to just grab any of the other basic Pokemon too. So a nice little balance, you could say. But the reason why it's 2 and not 3, like the Rails deck, is of course because we can run a Mystery Treasure, 4 of these, discard outlet, and we grab any psychic Pokemon. You can basically grab anything besides the Mime in this deck. And, well, basically what I usually do is run, before this card got released, it would have been a computer search for the Ultra Balls for our discard outlets. But I bumped it up to 4 and dropped in a level ball because this card is flexible. It can grab as anything, so why not? The 2 Professor Letter, damn, don't scroll so much, is standard. This is an excellent card. Grab us the energies and then we discard them, set up the discard pile, manually attach energies, not miss a beat. The regular stuff you guys should expect from these sort of decks. And that's it for the consistency cards, I guess. You gotta have your 1 Trainer's Mail. You can try more if you like, but I like 1. It will usually grab as something with 34 trainer cards. You gotta have the one of Stretcher 2, grab any Pokemon. The VS Seekers, grab any supporter. 2 of these are pretty good. Usually you want to reserve them for Lysanders maybe. Gotta have the Tool Removal, 1 Startling Megaphone, and the 1 Field Blower. Where are you? Where's the Field Blower? There you are, next to computer search. Most people would favor Field Blower for the flexibility of discarding, you know, the stadiums too, and maybe, I don't know, I guess discard like the Team Flare grunts if the Team Flare tools, if they still, people still play them on you. Uh, I think, yeah, they only work on EX Pokemon, so it'd probably be bad to run them with GXs now. But this card is more flexible discarding stadiums. I just like starting Megaphone in case my opponent, there's some hasty opponents that like to play like 3 or more tools on their Pokemon. I once like discarded 4 tools with this card. So it's sometimes cool to run it like that. It's mostly usually not you mostly will never get that big of a plus, but it's nice to have. I like it. Okay. And for our switching cards, we gotta have the 2 float stones to put on the Dawnwings, Necrozma GX, and other Pokemon. And we run the 2 switches too. 2 of these switches. I also have for the stadium, it's gonna be Ultra of the Moon. Um, might as well run this as opposed to running something like Sky Arrow Bridge, since, you know, if I put a Psychic Energy on, everybody has a basically free retreat. We don't have any guy that has 3 or more retreat, I believe, besides, no, not even you. You. Oh, no, actually, you have 2 as well. So everybody has, you know, pretty solid retreat costs at 2 or less. So with the Ultra of the Moon and Psychic Energy, we get free retreat. So might as well run this. Uh, it's not really any other better stadiums I can utilize. We don't have, I don't have the Tropical Beach, and I might not even run it if I had it. And something like Sky Arrow Bridge, you know, we have Ultra of the Moon, does the same thing better probably. So that's it, uh, basically. Standard stuff. And that's basically all for the items. I guess the only thing that's left to talk about is the Fighting Fury Belt. Just like Radials, I have an option for one sort of offensive tool in our decks. You don't want to go over that and sacrifice some of the consistency cards. You can even drop this for something else, like a mail or something, or another consistency card like Nest Ball, I guess. But I like this sort of tool. It gives me some extra HP on our Pokemon, make them tankier, like this guy. And that 10 extra can really help with KOs. You put that on Giratina, that 170, it's even a bigger range for one-hit knockouts on a lot of Pokemon. Now, something like Choice Band, of course, helps you out even more for those KOs, but I really like the extra HP. Probably the best out of all of them will be Muscle Band, the sort of all-use offensive tool, but Fury Belt is pretty good as well. This guy does a lot of damage anyway. When you discard 4 Psychic Energies, you could KO anything. It's not really hard. He's not as weak as Rayquaza since it's a new card, so you don't need that extra damage anyway. Alright, and the supporters, they're going to be pretty standard as well. Since we run so many discard outlets in this deck, the One of Lily is nice. If we get this turn 1 with Tapu Lele, or we're lucky enough to have it, you use it and you draw a lot of cards. It's only 1 because it's not like I really want to get the effect of so badly. And because late game or in mid game, basically, it's still a solid support card that you draw until you have 6. Not bad. Of course, if you get the effect of, is good. And you know what? We have 4 mystery treasures too. So it's like we have 5 Tapu Leles like that, and we have, you know, more chances to get this. It's like that. You can run 2 if you like or more, but it's a card that if I don't get it turn 1, it's not the end of the world. A lot of the times, yeah, maybe you don't want to use it. We want to rely on more reliable supporters. I mean, we do have Juniper still since it's expanded, so what? It gives me like 1 less card than Lily? Okay, it's just a lot more reliable. You gotta run the 3 Juniper, of course, discard outlet as well, and the 3 Cynthia standard. I go with 3 Cynthia and 1 N since you have the VS Seekers. I like being able to consistently get 6 cards even late game with this. And you gotta have the 1 of Skyla. Only 1 is necessary in a deck like this. We don't need more. And the 1 of Chorus, of course, since this is expanded. So that's basically the deck. I got the 1 Lysander too. Pretty good. Can win you games. You can try Guzma if you like, but I like this guy. Looks cooler too, even though he's not the greatest character, but he's a nice little crazy character from 6th gen. I like him since I have him. The energies are just 12 psychic energies. My pretty little Call of Legends energies here. I actually have the secret rares too. A couple of secret rares I can put in here. Golden secret rares from Sun and Moon. They don't look that good, but whatever. But this is the deck, guys. It's pretty straightforward. Plays like Ray Ills, plays like these sort of energy acceleration from the discard pile decks. It's really fast. It can be pretty powerful. You want to get your Malamars out quick, power up your attackers, get one-hit knockouts, snipe with Hoopa, take care of other Pokemon as necessary with things like Giratina and Hoopa, and you can even attack with this guy. Now this deck, of course, like any deck, does have a few weaknesses that people can really exploit. Of course, if you get one shot by Psychic and Darkness Pokemon, that really sucks. You're going to have to retaliate quickly and get one shot backs if you want to stay in the game. And things like item lock, of course, hurts, but even more so, I'd say, Pokemon like the Garbodor, Trashlanch Garbodor, this deck hates that guy because not only this deck is heavy on items, but you know, they only need like just a couple to get one-hit knockouts since this guy's weak to Psychic. So it's kind of rough. We do have our Darkness weak Pokemon like this guy and this guy that don't care about Garbodor as much, but that Pokemon is still a bitch, unfortunately. And that's basically it. Every deck is going to have a weakness, of course. Garbodor, I'd say it's the worst thing, but it's still an excellent deck and expanded, for sure. Much better than standard, I'd say, since we have a lot of the good drawing options like Juniper, the Float Stones, snipers like this guy, and other Pokemon like Hoopa too, regular Hoopa, and the letter. But yeah, I'm gonna post a few games with this deck. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends, and thank you guys for watching. What's up?